Hey everybody, Michael Snyder here, California Weather Watch. Today is July 10th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see the marine layer moving down out of the north and the northwest. You can see the eddies that move around with the terrain features as it moves down the coastline there. You can see some of that marine layer burning off here as we go through the morning hours. Check out across the deserts, of course, just nothing but huge amounts of sunshine across the region there. You can see Lake Tulare out there across some of the southern valley areas here, and that's going to continue for probably at least the next year or so, and possibly longer depending on what El Nino brings us as we go through the fall and winter months coming up here. You can see the snow here on the GOES 18 satellite imagery as well still exists across some of the Sierra Nevada also. But the big weather story coming up here is the ridge of high pressure is going to build over much of the area here, including the entire state of California, and really warm things up. We'll take a look at those temperatures here coming up in a moment and just how long this is going to last. This is looking at this day in Southern Cal weathered history. Check it out. An earthquake in LA caused 2 tsunamis at Dana Point. And look at this, 1913, 134 degrees at Greenland Ranch in Death Valley, the highest recorded temperature ever on Earth. And again, 1985, the remnants of a tropical storm got upwards through the California coastline, did bring some light precipitation with that, and also did some lightning here across some of San Diego there, knocking out power to central San Diego and the zoo there. So kind of interesting here. I like these blasts of the past here across for the National Weather Service. San Diego actually does these here for much of Southern California. This is looking at Las Vegas National Weather Service. Look at this. 4 of 4 extreme. So this level of long duration extreme heat with little to overnight relief affects anyone out there without effective cooling or adequate hydration there. So take caution here, and we'll look at some of these temperatures here coming up here. Nice graphic here from the National Weather Service Las Vegas. And look at Phoenix. I mean, it's just going to get even warmer here as we go on in through the week, in towards next weekend. Look at this extreme heat risk as you get towards next weekend for Phoenix. Blythe out there, look at that 117 also. This is looking at the fire weather outlook. It does include portions of Nevada and Arizona in through Utah here. It is elevated risk here with the wind picking up across the area. And this is again for tomorrow across much of Nevada, including Las Vegas out there. This is just kind of me rolling through here. Let's check out the diurnal cycle. You can see the warm up and the relative cool down, if you want to call it a cool down, in the overnight hours, and the warm up again. You can see the heating during the diurnal cycle here. Pretty interesting stuff here on the NAM 3KM model. This is looking at the NAM 3KM, the wind, and the wind kind of correlates with the afternoon heating there. Afternoon heating, the wind kicks up, especially along the coastal areas there, and rinse and repeat here. I'll just kind of scroll through and you can kind of see that diurnal cycle of the wind here across much of the region as well. This is looking at something else. We got shortwave radiation here. So if I go through, you see the sun rise, and you'll just see the brutal strength of that sun here across the west coast here before the sun sets and we go into nighttime again. But scrolling backwards now, you can really see just how strong the sun is this time of year. And when Phoenix doesn't get the monsoon here, or at least some kind of moisture moving into the area, these temperatures can get quite out of hand, is what they're going to do as we go through the week coming up here. So we're looking for that monsoon to hopefully kick up here in the next couple of weeks. We'll check that out here in a moment as well. Composite reflectivity, this is what the Doppler radar may look like here as we go through the next few days. You can see some thunderstorm activity across New Mexico, trying to creep into Arizona here, into the southern portions here as well. Now we're going into Tuesday afternoon. You can see maybe a few thunderstorms popping up in the higher terrain north of Phoenix there, and some across the southern Arizona area here, but nothing for California. No precipitation expected here through 60 hours, at least on the NAM 3KM. As you can see, nothing popping up here. Maybe a return of some of the thunderstorms across Arizona, but that's about it. This is looking at the European last night's run. This goes out 144 hours, and you can see some precipitation go through Tuesday, trying to kick up north of Phoenix there and across southern Arizona, down through Mexico here, but nothing for the state of California. This is just noise along the coastline right now. And as we go all the way out through hour 144, nothing for Nevada or California and much of western Arizona as well. This would be Saturday night on July 15th. This is day 1. You can see southeast Arizona included. Day 2, it does creep a little bit further west here, again, mainly north of Phoenix, higher terrain here. And this is looking at Phoenix. Check this out. This red line here is the average temperatures for this time of year. And you can kind kind of see how they start dropping down here as you go through mid-July. That's the onset of the monsoon here coming across the region. But you can see we don't have that yet. So we're going to have some very warm temperatures, extremely hot temperatures, actually, I should be saying here. As you can see, these temperatures well up into the 110s here for Phoenix coming up. This is for Tonopah, Nevada. This is over 6,000 feet. And check this out, up over 100 degrees way up there in the higher terrain as well. I used to live out there, so I thought I'd visit this one here on the European ensemble. This is looking at Las Vegas. Check it out. Very warm temperatures headed for Las Vegas as well. You can see the average temperature for this time of year and well exceeding that as we go through the upcoming weekend here. This is Los Angeles. We're going to do the same thing here. This is LAX, the airport there. So the average temperatures would be here, and you can see getting up into the mid and maybe even some upper 80s showing up here for Los Angeles. Check out Burbank. You don't have to go too far inland here to start getting some really warm temperatures. Look at these upper 90s here coming up towards this weekend here, maybe 100-degree reading there, and the red line is the average temperature again. This would be Big Bear City here, looking for some temperatures up into the 80s, and you can see the red line is the average temperature again there. Sacramento, nice and warm coming up here, downright hot. Look at this, up towards 115 degrees by the time you get towards Saturday, so the heat is definitely coming, folks. Check out Redding there as well. Look at 115, 116 showing up here for Saturday and Sunday, just kind of ridiculous. Although the average high for this time of year is just above 100 degrees. This is looking at Eureka. You want to beat the heat. Get out there to Eureka on the coastline there. I mean, a little bit of bump above normal here, but still, you're just in the low 60s here, 63 for Saturday, Sunday coming up. Look at the average high for this time of year, about 61 degrees on the coastline there. But even San Francisco might warm up a bit here as we go through the weekend. Check it out, upper 70s, low 80s, not out of the question here, showing 82 and 80. You can see the red line for the average temperature this time of year, just in the mid 60s here for this weekend coming up. So that would be kind of nice. This is looking at 500 millibars here. And let's just go ahead and scroll through this a little bit. As you can see, that trough kind of move through the Pacific Northwest. And look at that ridge kind of build across the Southwest USA here. And even include the Pacific Northwest. But look at it just centered over California. That's what's going to bring that big, brutal heat wave here. And just continue it across Las Vegas, Phoenix, some of the desert areas. But as we go through the extended, look what the European is showing. There's always some kind of hope off in the future, right? Kind of suppresses that ridge a bit here and brings a trough near the Pacific Northwest, which would start to bring some lowered temperatures here across the state of California as well. But let's back this up a little bit here. So as we start this off here, you can kind of see the temperatures being suppressed a bit. This is a 2-meter temperature anomaly. You can see California below average, and you can see at 850 millibars, 5,000 feet below average. So let's go ahead and scroll through this ridge and watch it build in here. And by the time it takes up shop over California, we'll scroll up towards the 2-meter temperatures, and you can see the big swing coming up here, well above average, all the way out towards the coastline even here coming up as we go towards the weekend. And this would be 850 millibars. The temperatures aloft quite warm as well, and you can see that exist for a while. And as we go off into the future a little bit more, actually we lose data there here, but let's see the 850 millibar temperatures kind of showing that trough setting up off the coastline here for California. So maybe some hope in the future for a bit of a cool down. This is looking at 6 to 10 day precipitation probability outlook. Again, the big bullseye across Nevada, Utah, including some portions of California here. As not much precipitation is expected as we go through mid-July coming up. But look at this little blurb. Maybe that monsoon will start to encroach down the region here. I heard one of my friends call it the non-soon on Twitter there yesterday. Kind of a little bit of humor there dealing with the monsoon conditions coming up here, but non-soon with an N. Now, taking a look at the 6 to 10 day temperature probability outlook, I've got the average temperatures in the text here, and you can see that we're supposed to be well above average here, and that big ridge building up over the area is going to provide that. Phoenix about 105 average this time of year, could be 10 to 12 degrees warmer here as we go through the weekend. This is through June 19th. And I'll show this one more time here at least. So significant wildland fire potential outlook. We do have below average conditions here, hopefully, as we go through the month of July, August, and September here for some of the Sierra Nevada. So that would be much welcome for sure. Pacific Northwest kind of looking like a hot spot here as we go through the summer here. There's some above normal potential exists for them. But yeah, hopefully this rings true here, and we can keep the forest fire activity to a minimum across much of the state of California coming up. But yeah, anyway, the heat is coming here this weekend. It's probably going to peak here for much of the area, and we'll see how that trough we'll see how that trends here as we go through future runs and see if that actually does set up across Pacific Northwest and how much it will affect California and how much we can kick this ridge out of here and maybe start to bring some more seasonable temperatures after we go through this bit of a heat wave. As we go through this weekend coming up. So more on that here as we go through tomorrow. We'll take a look at that again and we'll update the forecast there for you. But anyway, if you guys want a nice weather station for your home, click on the link down below. I will include that. I highly recommend this weather station. It's quite accurate. I've been testing it against my much more expensive weather equipment. It's doing quite well. It detects lightning. It's all solar powered. It's got an ultrasonic anemometer. A very nice station. So anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow and I will talk to you guys then.